A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock myself?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Presentation.
It's a beautiful afternoon, high in the sky above the virtual world center of racing. Temperatures might be a little chilly in the northern hemisphere, but that is not going to stop the action from heating up here on the track. It's gonna be a long night as these drivers go for the first in a new line of prizes, courtesy of Special Stage. Grab yourself something to eat, something to drink, and settle in for the long haul as we get ready to crown our first Joker Crown Jewel champion. Welcome to Joker Crown Jewel race number 1 of 2026, and welcome to the first running of the Special Stage Daytona 5000 on turn 200. As we welcome you into tonight's coverage here on Turn 200, my name is Tommy Cook. Happy to be back after about a month off here on the channel. And we welcome in the other member of our broadcast team here this evening. He is one of the GOATs of Special Stage, one of the GOATs really just at Turn 200 in general. It's James Watson back at Booth 200. Welcome back, partner. Great to see you here tonight.
Oh, man, if I'm one of the GOATs, then I think they need to be sent to the vet or something. But, yeah, I'm happy to be back. It's been a minute since I've been on a Special Stage broadcast, so I was really starting to miss it. And happy to be back for one of the best ones you could be at. Daytona 5000, and to me, one of the best drafting packages of all the stock cars on iRacing. So this is going to be one heck of a show, as they're already killing each other on pit road.
I mean, there's going to be lots of vehicular manslaughter here this evening, I'm afraid. And one driver that might be a part of it, if he's lucky or I guess unlucky, the head of Special Stage, another one of the GOATs of Turn 200. Welcome in, Matt Schlosser. Not going to be with us here for the whole broadcast. You're going to be going for the win and trying to keep the hardware for yourself here tonight. But welcome back to Booth 200.
Hey, thanks for having me up here. Yeah, I am very excited for this one. It's our first real NASCAR-style drafting race here in Special Stage. We somehow managed to run Kia Optimas at Texas Motor Speedway before we did NASCAR at Daytona, so we're here to write that and hopefully put on a good show.
I mean, let's talk about very quickly here what the goal is here tonight. We've called it the Joker Crown Jewel. I know there's a plan going forward, but if nothing else, the special stage Daytona 5000 seems like a good feather that everybody's going to want to put in their caps here.
Yeah, that's my hope. It's my hope putting this together with you is that we'd be able to attract some of the really skilled drafting track racers, and I think we've got a good roster. Looking at the guys from Max V, from Venom Trucks, some of the heavy hitters from Special Stage, some others that have raced on the channel in the community who've got some really good skills at this type of racing. So my hope is it's one that everybody wants to win, and we've got a special trophy. We've got a little extra hype and circumstance for it. So the plan is for this to be one of maybe 4 of these special events this year, covering all the different disciplines, dirt and road racing and all of it. So this is a good one to kick it off, I think, and hopefully we get a good. Hopefully the racing tonight reflects that intensity. I think it'll be a good one, especially going off what James said about the drafting package. I think you picked a really good package here for us to race with.
Now, switching from your promoter cap and put it on your driver's helmet, you want to win this race here tonight. You're talking about some of the skilled super speedway racers on the channel. You are certainly one of them. Well, I mean, what is it going to take here tonight? What was your practice experience like?
Yeah, it's this car drafts a little bit differently than maybe the trucks or a Gen 4 or something else. I think it's been a while since many of us have used this car regularly, so there might be a little bit of unpredictability in the draft, and maybe some zigging and zagging when you don't expect, but the car felt pretty snug and stable. It's obviously got plenty of downforce with the 3-foot spoiler on the back, but I think it'll be a good race to maybe ride around and get your feet under you. It's a long one, so you got to be there at the end. So that's usually my MO, is to be a little bit anonymous in the beginning and then kind of appear towards the end when it tends to matter. So hopefully I can survive and make it to that point.
Well, partner, we'll let you get to it here in open qualifying. Best of luck. We'll hope to talk to you again here at the end of the night.
All right, thanks, guys.
So, yes, open qualifying is underway. I know that some Daredevil Series nightmares of when this was unintentional, but I promise this is very much a part of the plan coming into tonight.
Yeah, we're seeing those big spoilers in full effect. Some may refer to them as a different name coined by a certain someone.
Oh, I mean, let her rip. I mean, the gloves are off at this point. We're part-time. Nobody's going to fire us.
Hell yeah, you can hardly see anything because of these giant-ass spoilers.
Amen to that. And yeah, I'm right there with you. We wanted to run this package in particular with the Gen 6 car. They put the sort of quasi-beach ball physics back on this where, 2 cars in a tandem, you can't quite suck up to the guy in front of you. But with 3, 4, 5 cars in a line like you see right here, boy, these guys are hauling the mail around here. Speeds of over 200 miles an hour, the way it ought to be in the Cup Series.
That they are. You absolutely need to be in the draft because of how much downforce this car has. You're losing so much time by yourself. Those giant-ass spoilers give a giant-ass amount of drag. So if you're not getting help by someone helping you push through all that air and try to mitigate all the speed loss from the drag, you're not going to put in anywhere near a good of lap time. More so than any other stock car and single car compared to pack speed.
So at last count, we had 25 entries on the list here this evening. We'll see if we get a couple more in the closing minutes here of qualifying. We're looking at Sean Winkler right now. He has got the top time, but that may not stand. He's only second in line, and there are drivers juking and jiving all over the place. As we welcome in some folks that are hanging out in the chat with us. Hello to Kyle Zittel, who is absent from the field here tonight. Maybe we can get him for the second annual Daytona 5000 next season, but he's got some very important business to tend to here this evening. Best of luck to you in the pole dash for the PCR 500 this weekend. Hello to Robin Monticek, and we miss calling races for you as well. Hello to Andy DeCotta, and hello to Brad Slagle. So far, so good. As the new man atop the board, there is Kevin Fletcher. Looking at drivers, a healthy mix of some Turn 200 drivers from all across our various leagues, and a couple of special stage guys as well that we may not know that much about, which can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. This is super speedway racing after all. I think the one thing these drivers are going to love here this evening, 124 laps, that is a long race. But you do have one fast repair in the bank should you need it, and my guess is we're going to need it. You might even need it pretty early.
Yeah, this is longer than half of the actual length of the Daytona 500, and you're not that far. You're only 16 laps short of it being a full distance of the summer Coke Zero 400 race. So this is a long race. You're going to probably see a lot of people trying to take it easy, trying to turn as many laps as they can, just biding their time before they really start to make their moves. And I gotta give a shout out to Nicholas Pressey and his paint. That is a gorgeous Mach 4 paint. I love that. My all-time favorite movie to this day is that Speed Racer movie, the live-action one that came out in 2008. That thing looks gorgeous.
So 27 drivers now in the session. Pressey, with a lap, will jump up to P14. Go around the field a little bit. Here's Matt Williamson waiting on a group as they crash behind him. Oh, no. That's Will Wolf that is around, and I believe that's Matt Schlosser in the Old Mother Brewing Company number 400, and unfortunately that is the case. So that will probably be an early end to qualifying for those gentlemen. Brody Gunter, fourth quickest right now. He is fourth in this line as well. Might continue doing these lap times as they come across the stripe. Good lap for Victor Aldrich last time around. He's into the top 10. So is Paul Ellison now. He's pushing Nicholas Pressey, and he's pushed Pressey into a top 10. Now the clock will strike 0, but you're allowed to finish the lap that you are on. So it is not like it is in normal 2-lap qualifying where if the clock strikes 0, your lap is over immediately. These drivers will be able to finish the lap that they're on. You really want to be on a heater. Drain the fuel from these cars as much as possible. Get these cars light. Although maybe a little bit heavier will keep these spoilers out of the area. You can see it going both ways. The one thing that is hindering these drivers is they can't actually bump draft. It is like normal qualifying where a 0x will invalidate your lap. So you cannot actually make contact with anybody. Otherwise, that lap will not count. And that is the frustration here on the Super Speedways. Anytime you do get to go open qualifying, it's the dance you have to dance.
Correct, and because of that, you're having to lay off the throttle a good amount, especially if you're those in the back of the pack. You're having to really get off of it, just making sure you can get as close as you can without making contact. That's why the best way to do it is get to where you're at the very tail end of draft range starting the lap. So that way you can use as much of the lap as you can to kind of catch up to everyone. And because of that, you're going so much more quicker because of all that speed and not being in any of the air. And you're hoping that you can maintain that as long as you can before you actually do catch them. And that's where you're going to see the massive heaters, the really great qualifying laps from those that can pull that off the best.
Steven,
go ahead. I was going to say, if you're actively in one of these packs like here right now, you're not going to get a lap good enough to contend for the top. See Steven practicing his pit entry.
Not a bad idea. In theory, we should have some green flag pit stops here this evening, and in fact, we might need quite a few of them. As the checkers are out, these drivers again can finish the lap that they are on. And that will be pretty quick here for Chance Allen, and in fact, they are just going to abort. We'll see what this front group can do. A lot of your pole contenders are up here right now. Sean Winkler, Hayden Maminga, Brody Gunter, and Hayden Palumbo, all right here. Pull out RJ Starcivic in the chat. He's cheering on Kyle Zittel in another race. There's practice pit entries for everybody except for Maminga, who is provisionally third, and he's not going to pick up time after he lost all of his help there. So Kevin Fletcher is your pole sitter for the first ever special stage Daytona 5000. So he sits on the backstretch. We'll get a nice shot of him before the session switches over, and we get ready to roll for 124 laps. By the way, for anybody that pays attention in junior high science classes, the unit of measurement we're using here this evening is hectometers. It's one of those ball moments from me where it's like, well, what unit of measurement can we possibly use? And it's like, well, let's just go to the meters. Shout out to Europe. So 5,000 hectometers, 124 laps here this evening, and it is time to roll for the first ever special stage Daytona 5000. And this is how they will grid. Kevin Fletcher in the 16 will lead the field on his way to the start-finish line. To his outside, it is Sean Winkler on the front row, Hayden Mamiga, and Stephen C. Thompson on row 2. Brody Gunter and Hayden Palumbo, Venom Truck Series mainstays, and always mainstays at the front of the VTS Super Speedway races as well. They make up row number 3. Chance Allen and Nate Siefker is here on row number 4. Corey Rutherford and Paul Ellison, another duo from the Venom Truck Series. They're on row number 5. Nicholas Pressey and Victor Aldrich on row 6. TJ Crampton and Will Wolf on the 7th row. It is Brandon Hartline, and our buddy Matt Williamson is back there in the 16th position. Travis Fleming and another Matt Society member, Matt Schlosser, starting on the outside of row number 9. Top 20 starters rounded out by Zachary Holden and John Kay. Nick Tarana and Heath Smith on row number 11. Scott Patton, Justin Michael, Mike Milfeld, all Max V drivers there. 23rd, 24th, 25th, Trenton Kimmel and Patrick Wilson. 27 drivers for 124 laps here this evening. Oh boy, James Watson, I know this is super speedway racing. It's supposed to be straightforward and skillless. Everybody that actually knows ball knows that is not the case. What are some strategy notes here? What are these drivers going to be paying attention to as they get ready to roar to life on pit road?
Well, the strategy that I always like to employ on the super speedways is remembering that basically the entirety of the race before that final fuel stop is pointless. You're not gonna win the race on the first 100 laps. You need to set yourself up for that final run the best that you can. So I always try to sit in the back, save as much fuel as possible, stretch out the other stops as far as I can go, so that way when we get to that final stop, I'm able to then flip the track position, manufacture my own track position by staying on pit road the shortest, taking the least amount of fuel compared to everyone. That way I come out in front, especially since, tires don't matter here. You don't have to worry about taking tires, so your pit time is solely on how much fuel you take. So if you have to take less fuel than everyone else, faster pit stop, you're going to be out in front. And then at that point, it's just hope for the best, hope you can hang on to the track position, but it's all about getting as much control of the race as you can. And that's really where the only amount of control you have is on pit stops and how you do on those pit stops.
124 laps here tonight. Fuel window somewhere between 35 to 40 laps. A little bit more if you lag back and conserve. Unlimited tires, to your point, not really necessary. One faster, that will certainly come in handy for the majority of drivers here this evening if prior history here at Daytona has anything to say about it. It's a beautiful afternoon, ready to roll here at Daytona for our first Joker Crown Jewel event. Special stage, Daytona 5000, led to the green by Kevin Fletcher on the inside and Sean Winkler on the outside. Green flag is out. We're underway at Daytona.
Our clean and even start for our front row right there. We're already starting to get some 3 wide here. That's exactly.
The sort of feeling out process lasted all of 2 turns, and some drivers in the middle of the pack are trying to move their way forward, namely Paul Ellison. He's down the backstretch on the top. Sean Winkler is pulled ahead with help from Stephen C. Thompson.
Yeah, the feeling out process, someone's getting felt up right now.
Top 3
Kevin
jumped down to the bottom. And lap 1 goes to Sean Winkler.
Meanwhile, whatever the heck happened down the back straightaway, it did not favor Fletcher at all. He's already lost quite a bit of space. Look at that. He's already fallen down to 4th on that inside.
On board with your pole sitter. Still in the top 5. He's got some room to maneuver, but he's got some work to do if he wants to get back on the point. Nate Siefker jumped in the chat before we went green. He and his teammate Will Wolf are in action together here this evening. Wolf's made a couple of starts on turn 200. Wolf right now back in 13th. Siefker nice here in the top 5.
Hasn't taken Nate very long at all. So far you see quite a bit of the field is already subscribed to that just right around strategy. You see once you get past about got like I think 6 cars in that outside lane, and then a whole lot of single file right behind them when you get to the last car in line of the 12.
Somebody's found the sucker hole and is going backwards in the middle, and that is no fun. I think it's Hayden Palumbo. That's the other thing. We're blowing the dust off of these cars, and most of these drivers, I would imagine, we get to find out what paint schemes they're running in 2021.
Well, I can already tell you that Victor Altridge, of course, owner of Dizzy V Designs, he's already brought the heat for this one.
Brought the heat in qualifying as well, just outside of the top 10. That's where he currently rides, now in the top 10.
Yeah, Victor just trying to get good of a position as he can get right now.
This is what it looks like in the soup from the cockpit of Victor Aldrich. Really not a whole lot of places to go. Talk about needing cooperation. Nobody's going to be willing to make that crazy move with you here just on lap number 5.
Yeah, you're definitely going to need that help. You know, it's hard to pull out and kind of get it done all by your... Oh, no! Back in! Oh, Thompson around! Oh, no! He's back at the track!
Goodness gracious. Yeah, I don't think the caution came out, which is surprising.
No. I wonder if the caution is that, because
I sure
don't
hope
throw
so.
caution in special stage, so I'm surprised we didn't.
Well, we'll see if that gets sorted out here momentarily. I'm sure they'll get something figured out if indeed that is deemed caution worthy. You might want to have a look on your end to see if the auto cautions are on or even if you can see them.
No, I don't have admin rights. I'll try to do any sort of research I can, but we'll see.
Well, in the meantime, we've got a bit of a breakaway now at the front of the field. Nate Siefker, Paul Ellison, Corey Richardson, Victor Aldrich, Sean Winkler, the top 5. Bit of a gap back to Nicholas Pressey and Will Wolf. They are going to need something to change here. I don't believe these two are going to be able to track down the front 5, especially as they are in a nice tight formation here. Now, I will say in defense of auto caution, I don't have a marked crash. Now, that was obviously a crash, but if, you know, my streaming software uses iRacing's internal logic, and if there's not a marked crash, then iRacing didn't think there was a crash there, which is certainly something.
Yeah. So definitely there was someone that came back up the track into the 52, and I figured that absolutely should have been a caution right there, but yeah, obviously iRacing had different ideas.
So Steven C. Thompson is never all the way around. The only 2 drivers that are around are under the yellow line, and that is typically what iRacing deems to be a caution. Now, we have seen drivers slow on the track like Steven is here. That will bring out the caution, but evidently that is not the case here. So iRacing says let it ride. So we'll let it ride.
Yeah, it's going 4-course cautions with the check mark next to them, the session details, so... Huh.
Now, here's the good news for Nicholas Pressey and Will Wolf. They do have about 3.5 seconds up to this lead back, but they have dropped back now to everybody, and it is a concerted effort to claw their way back up to the front 5.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers are in their favor. I just don't know if it will be enough. Because with all the drag and the restrictor plates on these cars, they're not the fastest of the Cup cars. So I don't know if it's really going to be that easy for them to close that gap down, even with the numbers advantage, unless that lead pack starts to balance.
Well, they are picking away at it 100th by 100th. It has come down about 3/10 in the last 2 laps. Once they get about 2 seconds behind Sean Winkler here in 5th, might be able to get a crack at it. But also, you have to keep this mob in line, basically. Nobody could put a foot wrong here, and you could see. I mean, we are zigging and zagging, to your point from earlier. It's hard. You would think they have the numbers advantage and they're going to be good to go, but it's a lot easier just to keep 5 drivers in line than it is to keep about 15.
Absolutely.
So we wait with bated breath to see what kind of work Nicholas Pressey Bud Line is going to be able to put in here. Oh, Brody Gunter is going to shuffle out Will Wolf. Wolf is going to quickly drop to the back. No options.
Yeah, it looks like Wolf has a little bit of damage on that car, so I wonder if Railing thought maybe to get some of the cleaner cars up towards the front, really try to maximize speed, because any sort of damage is going to slow this car down way more than it already is with the tapered spacer and the big spoiler. So it makes sense, but it is going to cost them extra time just trying to facilitate this, unfortunately.
So we'll see if they can stop the bleeding here. They have now lost about a 10th in all of that. So about 3.5 seconds, the gap from Pressey up to Winkler, 6th to 5th. They picked up a lapped car now in that mix as well. That's not 100% sure who that is.
I believe that was Fletcher.
Oh, that's the pole sitter.
Yeah, he was heavily involved in that crash. I think he was the one that got sent back up the track and into 52, which put both of them in the wall.
So Fletcher will try to hang on here. Now, this might be welcome news for Nicholas Pressey and company to find somebody to just get a little bit of a slipstream off of. To try and, again, break back in. They have made up about a tenth and a half or so. So it is slow going, but progress is being made. Kickpot cam here with Brody Gunter. So he tries to push the line leader, Nicholas Pressey. Also managing temperatures. Now, I remember this being one of the more generous cars, but they did like to toy with the temperatures sensitivity a lot.
Yeah, I don't really remember really having to worry about the temps in this car compared to any of the currently used stock cars like the next gen, the Xfinity. The hardcore car is really bad about it. But in my time with this car, I don't really remember having to worry about it nearly as much.
Gap is now under 3 seconds. At this rate, it should only be a matter of about 5 laps or so until this second pack is caught up to your leaders. Paul Ellison showing the way, Corey Rutherford in second, Victor Aldrich in third, Nate Siefker in fourth, Sean Winkler in the fifth position. If the caution were to come out right now, it would not be Kevin Fletcher who gets the lucky dog because he is 2 laps down. It would be Steven C. Thompson, who is only 1 lap down.
Yeah, and the good thing about this race being as long as it is you have time to make this gap up, get caught up to everyone, and not really have to worry or panic. If this was a normal league race distance, like 6 laps or so, then it might be a bit more stressful, but they're starting to make some absolutely amazing ground up on them. They are down to I think 2.5 seconds right now.
Yep,
and so
that gap is still coming down. 10th by 10th, it's now 2.
Yeah, so at the rate they're going, they might be back in the lead draft before we even get to the first round of flag themselves.
Once they get to about 2 seconds behind, it's going to happen pretty rapidly. Pressey, Gunter, Palumbo, and Tirana are the first 4. They're going to have to decide what they want to do and who they want to do it with. And they're going to have to do it pretty quick.
Yeah, and it really comes down to who you have at the front of the packs. You see Brody right there in the second position in that second pack. Brody is very accomplished, very serious. The man absolutely knows what he's doing behind the wheel of a race car and what he needs to do to get them back up into this lead draft and shove that 94 along. So it's definitely one of the cars you want to have in this position when you're basically kind of fighting for your life out here trying to catch the leaders.
1.3 seconds, and I mean, you can hear the difference in the RPMs in the slipstream here for Pressey. Talk about these giant-ass spoilers punching a huge hole in the air. Pressey's got to be loving that right now.
That he is. I'd say they might be on the back of them in another, I'd give it 3 laps before they're full-on caught up. Like Kevin Fletcher has unfortunately called it tonight.
That's unfortunate. I don't get why. I don't understand why that wasn't a caution. But again, we're not throwing admin cautions here this evening. That was all on iRacing. So, it was a curious one. It certainly has made things a little more dynamic tonight this one. I don't think a lot of these drivers were hoping for dynamics, though.
It's fine, though. It's definitely not like stock car races at Daytona are crazy, and chaotic, and unpredictable, and stressful.
Oh, here we go.
Certainly isn't a high likelihood that someone ends up in the catch fence.
Pressy jumps into the top line as Seifker and Winkler go up top as well. So Pressy now going to be third in line on the top. Gunter sticks to the bottom to get closer to his Venom Truck Series teammates, as well as Victor Aldrich, another driver he's well familiar with. Various Turn 200 operations.
I think they caught back to them in 2 laps instead of the 3 I gave.
That's just how fast they are. Here is Nate Seifker now looking to take the lead back from Paul Ellison. He's got it at the line. Can he get clear? Off the bumper of Sean Winkler. Yes, he is. Winkler is clear too. Doesn't pull the trigger though, and Seifker going to stay up top with him. Nope. There's Seifhart. Blocking both lanes. Right back to the top. Seifker's an open wheel guy, but he was born and bred to race at Daytona and Talladega. He's putting it on display here.
That he is, and he's driving like we're on lap 121 instead of just lap 21.
Winkler again clear. Pressy is clear as well. We'll see who makes the move to the bottom. There goes Winkler, and Seifker is hung out on the top. Oh, 3 wide now as Pressy sneaks underneath the Winkler. Still
wow,
3 wide.
Ballsy move.
Seifker with no help. Only the side draft is keeping him in it, and that side draft is killing the middle as well. The bottom is back to prevailing, and impressive moves from Nicholas Pressy to put himself on the lead.
Yeah, unfortunately for Nate, his TWR teammate was right there down on the inside lane when they were going by. So Nate, unfortunately, just looking like he's going to drop to the back of the inside line.
Will Wolf is in this pack towards 15, so if he wants to drop back and pick up a teammate, maybe start thinking about pit stops here. Probably 10 to 15 laps away from green flag pit stops. Of course, you always make the assumption, even though it rarely ever happens, that this race is going to go all the way green to checkered. You pick that number and you start to work backwards. So maybe these drivers have some funky numbers in mind. But realistically, the fuel window here in about 10 to 15 laps, where they will have to make a stop no matter what.
Yeah, and the thing about restrictor plate races is that how they end up and how they finish is predicated on what type of pit stops we end up getting. Because I've always noticed it to where if we survive long enough to get green flag pit stops, then the amount of cautions we get and the percentage of cautions we get absolutely plummets. Because when you get down to green flag pit stops, you're always going to have quite a few cars making some sort of a mistake, whether they get a speeding, unsafe pit train, spin out, slide their box a little bit, or even just not quite as quick on the brakes as anyone else, and they lose the lead draft. It makes the race more spread out. The more spread out it is, the least likely we are to get a caution, because we don't have that big pack acting all chaotic and dealing with all of these runs. So I think if we do make it to green flag pit stops, might not be getting that many cautions, if any, at this point.
New leader is Hayden Palumbo, with help again from Nate Seifker. Didn't take long for Seifker to reappear at the front. We were just checking in as Seifker is going to leave Palumbo out, clips the apron there, and that is risky business even in these high downforce cars. They go side by side.
I said some cars were going to try to just ride and take off laps. Yeah, Nate's not using that strategy, it appears.
Here's my question, my rebuttal to that is, does he ever?
That is an excellent point.
I would expect nothing less. He was fired up to get in here tonight, and he is showing that early. With some aggressive moves that are paying off to this point. Back to the point I was making, we do have a couple of splintering off groups here. Brandon Hartline, Zachary Holden are out by themselves. Matt Williamson, John Kay, TJ Crampton are by themselves in the back here as well with Chance Allen. See those three actually working together, doing something intentionally here. Those are three super speedway aces. I don't really know much about Chance Allen, but TJ, Matt, and John in particular could have something up their sleeve, or at least they're trying to make the best out of a bad situation of losing the draft.
Yeah, being that far back, that is not by design. They were unfortunately the biggest losers in that not caution that didn't get severe damage. They lost so much speed trying to check up for all that. They were just a mile off of the draft. And yeah, unlike what we saw with the second pack catching up to the lead 5, yeah, they're not going to be able to do the same with the as few numbers as they got. So they are actively doing the caution dance right now.
There's another big group about halfway back on the track. Hayden Mamiga, Patrick Wilson, Trenton Kimmel, and Andy Ducato, along with Stephen C. Thompson, who again is the lucky dog. It's all Nate Siefker at the front of the field.
Yeah, Nate is as about as in control as you can hope for in a race like this, but do you have to wonder how much fuel he's been burning off this whole run? He's definitely going to be one of the first, if not the first, to pit. Oh! Almost let the 42 have an opportunity to put him 3 right there.
And Hayden would as well. No mistake about it. About the most tactical driver at the front here, I think, is Paul Ellison, and he has got to be kind of furrowing his brow at what he's seeing to this point. But he is right in the thick of it.
Yeah, Paul was the leader of that.
Look at that.
5-car break. Well, oh my God, that
What
is a big move from Nate. Oh man, he tried to shut the door, but Pressy just freaking punched right through it.
Pressy wants to lead. Siefker wants to lead. Does Winkler want to lead? No. Going in line behind Siefker.
I think Pressy just actually mentioned his temp over in race chat.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I think that's why he had to make such a crazy move while Nate was trying to throw the block. It was either that or kaboom.
Well, this is the telltale sign that we are just laps away from pit stops here. We are single filed out. Everybody, at least for now, gonna take things a little easy. It might give us an opportunity here to get a couple of plugs in. Special stage, racing 4 nights a week. Over on Racer Nexus on YouTube. They've got great coverage. IndyCars Friday nights. They'll be back in action next week, I do believe. GT4s on Sundays. Street Stocks on Mondays. And Crosscar on Thursday nights. Any of that interests you, plus the occasional Joker Series race, head on over to Special Stage and get in on the action. Maybe we'll see you on track for the next Crown Jewel. And they, I do believe, have a Grand National Series coming up here in the next couple of months as well. So, more stock car racing on the way for Special Stage.
Meanwhile, Pressy just came over the radio. He's bringing it in this time.
Okay, here we go. We'll see who's going to come with him.
And this is the lap that you want to pit on because right now you basically split it into nice quarters. 31. Ooh. Oh, never mind.
It was a dummy call.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Gotta love the gamesmanship. Nobody bit, though.
Yeah, it's even throwing off us broadcasters.
Truly, if I had a nickel for every time I'm wrong on the strategy, I might not have to do this. I could have packed up a year earlier.
You think you would have a lot of money? I'd be able to buy the Fox Network and take over their broadcasts.
All right.
And then earn even more money from all those times I'm wrong.
I just want an audition. That's all I want. That's all I'm asking for if you're taking over.
Well, never forget there was one time where I was going through this really crazy strategy that this particular car could maybe do, only for the producer to cut directly to that car on pit road when I was saying that he was going to stay out for another 5 minutes. As soon as I said that, I just yelled, "Oh, come on!"
That's what we're all about here, righting some wrongs.
Yeah.
Any takers this time? Nope. Now, the kings of the super speedway strategy, at least here on the channel, have always been the Max V boys, in particular Bandit Racing. Justin Michael, Scott Patton, and usually James Lehman in that mix as well. Lehman, a champion of special stage, not in action here tonight. Pete Smith and Mike Milfelt, however, are, and they are in the Max V sort of group that has come in to take over here this evening. I have no doubt they'll all be pitting together, and their stuff will be down pat. Patton in the top 10. Michael Milfelt and Smith not too far behind. That is Michael, Milfelt, and Smith not too far behind.
Seeing them stretch as far as they are. I think they're definitely trying to at least make it to lap 42 if possible. That way you can maybe cut it down to just a two-stop strategy at that point.
Boy, they would love to be able to make it just a couple more laps. It really simplifies this race, takes the pressure off of performing on pit road.
And we're actually starting to get a little bit of a breakaway here. The top three are started to gap out just a little bit. About 4/10.
Now you talk about saving fuel. These might be the three drivers that have thrown in the towel on that, because they've been the ones that have been leading the lines here tonight, making the aggressive moves. They've been foot flat to the floor all evening long. Everyone else has been a little bit more tactical about it, maybe trying to save some fuel here in the closing laps.
Yeah, meanwhile, a good chunk of that four-car group way in the back, they're bringing it down. As you saw a whole lot of sketchiness on their pit road entry. Good job, all of them, to hold on to it. You saw they were having to dirt track it a little bit.
That's Mamiga, Kimmel, Wilson, and Ducato in.
And our race leader, he's just given the command. Nate Seeker in. Sounds like Ellison in as well.
So lap 38, we're going to see some pit road activity.
And this is going to be interesting. It's going to be difficult. The thing that makes pit road entry harder on a plate track is having to do pit road entry with about 15,000 cars around you.
Here we go. Oh, a little bit of bumper cars there.
Oh, Nate locking up. He holds on to it. Oh, we got 42 sideways. Oh, Palumbo spinning into the infield.
Palumbo.
Oh, no.
Into the
and
grass.
The 25 is around.
Oh, dear. That's Brandon Hartline around at the mouth of pit road there. pretty clean for the most part. Outside of those two, Siefker will be gutted. Handful of drivers staying out on the track. Patton Smith, Aldrich, Fleming, Michael, Milfelt, Crampton, Schlosser, and Holden.
It looks like Palumbo got a black flag, insult injury, and a black flag for Sean Winkler, too.
Oh, man.
Oh, that is rough.
I would imagine that is a speeding penalty. How about this for remarkable? We were just talking about the chances that Williamson, Crampton, and Kay and Allen would be able to catch up as Ellison up on the track there. That will certainly be a penalty. Corey Rutherford.
He got super loose on the apron. That might just kill Corey's race right now. He's going to absolutely lose the lead pack.
And I'm not too sure Ellison won't get an exit penalty as well for putting his right side tires up there on the track. These drivers will go a lap down. That's one thing these drivers haven't done in probably years, is take the pit road out on older tires on this track.
No penalty for Ellison, but
okay, good.
TJ Crampton, he did get a black flag.
Oh. And so, yeah, to the point that I was speaking about earlier, we talked about how far back Crampton, Kay, Williamson, and Allen were. They actually caught up and now are back in the mix, and that is remarkable. They were, numerous seconds behind.
Well, TJ was back in the mix.
Yeah, he was. So now we await stops from this group right here. Patton Smith, Justin Michael, Mike Milfelt, Aldrich, and Matt Schlosser, who is way back here. Travis Fleming down pit road. We'll be looking to blend in here as here come the Bandit Boys. Oh, Patton! Off!
Oh, and lock up for Aldridge as well. Oh, black flag for Victor Aldridge.
Aldridge speeding. Patton will have an improper pit road entry penalty. Man, this has been brutal. First trip down pit road.
And a black flag for Michael as well, Justin Michael.
Wow.
And he spit.
Oh,
wow.
Dear. The whole group.
Yeah.
Wow. Did Mike Milfelt? Mike Milfelt is the lone survivor, and that's not really the feeling that he wanted here. He needs their help to stay in this pack. That was absolutely brutal. Your leader now is Mike Milfelt until he gets caught by Brody Gunter and Nicholas Preston. Nate Siefker. Did Nate Siefker not get a penalty?
He did not.
How?
It looked like.
And how is he in fourth, regardless?
As sideways as he was getting, he was a lot more in control of his car compared to some of the others around him. Like, it wasn't quite as out of control as we saw Palumbo spinning the back up into the grass on that pit entry.
Well, this field is very fragmented here, as an early incident that did not lead to the caution already segmented the field, and a wild round of green flag pit stops to open up have really just put the hurt on a lot of our front runners and contenders. Mike Milfelt might, and I think he has, latched on to your top three. So the top four will be together. And it is only now 1.9 seconds back to Paul Ellison, John Kay, and Nick Tirana, as well as the lap down to Steven Teague Thompson. In fact, make that 2 laps down for Steven Teague Thompson.
Be able to catch them, but it's going to be a lot tighter than what we saw earlier on. Looks like they were a couple tenths quicker that time by this second pack.
Will Wolf and Chance Allen are the next two in the running order, and they are some 8 seconds behind the lead pack. So really, it's going to be these top 7 unless we get a caution. But it's not a surefire thing that this group is going to catch your front 4 either. In fact, the top 4 have put some distance back to Ellison and company.
You know how I made mention that green flag pit stops tend to really separate and spread out the field?
Yeah, you did mention that.
Yep, this is not quite what I was expecting, but also exactly what I was expecting.
I mean, these are some of our veteran drivers who have won just untold number of races on the channel that all had issues there on that pit cycle. That was a wild thing to behold.
Yeah, seeing all of the Max V guys basically shoot themselves in the foot, except for Milfoot. That was definitely not something I had on my bingo card.
I mean, Palumbo, Ellison, Siefker, even though those two got away with it somehow. Sean Winkler as well. All right, this
is going to be interesting. Yeah, look at this, Tommy. Look at all the time they're giving up having to deal with these lap cars. This is going to absolutely help that second pack of Ellison and Tony. Oh, we got Pressy in the wall!
Oh, Pressy into the wall, and the scramble is on, and I think everybody's going to get okay. But, I mean, that nearly 3-second gap is now down to 1.5 seconds, especially as Pressy continues to drop backwards. And that is the lifeline that Ellison and Kay and Tirana needed. No doubt about it.
And what's interesting is that also messed up with the top cars, with the exception of Gunter. Now Brody is all alone in this kind of pack of lap down cars.
And we saw this with the Venom Truck Series in Season 9 at Daytona. That race went green to checkered. But the leader of the race was actually third in line with lap traffic on the final lap. And wouldn't you know, they all crashed. So it's not really an ideal situation at the end of the race. But I'm sure Gunter doesn't mind right now. Too much anyway.
Yeah, right now that little advantage he had, it's gone. Because here comes Seeker, Milfett, Pressy round the outside.
So that is the battle for the lead. Never mind Sean Winkler leading the way. Gunter third in line on the bottom is the leader, but not anymore as Siefker and Milfeld push on the top side.
And you see, it looks like that second pack is side by side with each other. I was wondering how on earth they had not really caught them despite all those shenanigans, and that's why. Now they're single filed out a little more, but they really got to start working together so much better. They're going to catch up. Now that time they did take 2/10 out, so they're only 2 seconds behind Gunter right now, and less so to Aldridge, who's at the tail end of this late pack here.
Yeah, they should be well within the slipstream now. I'm with you. I'm surprised that they didn't. They weren't already up with everything that was going on.
Yeah, I would have thought that Pressy ended up in the wall. They would have been right back on them like that. It is now gained another couple tenths.
Now a second and a half to Gunter. Certainly a lot closer than that to the rest of the field.
Yeah. See Siefker and Milfett right there, kind of in that outside lane by themselves.
And Milfeld dropping back here pretty quickly. As, I mean, Ellison is there, just a stone's throw away.
Yep, they got him.
Now, where can Papa Paul go? Let's ride with him. Slicing and dicing. There's Milfeld for position. Now a couple of cars not for position. And then Nate Siefker is Ellison right up to the wall. See how quickly that run stalls out. John Kay is going to go with him, but I don't know if anybody else is. Quite the mix of leaders and lap down cars, rather, all towards the front of the pack.
Yeah, you see them up high really trying to make this second lane work, but not quite getting the energy they need.
That Wrangler 3, by the way, is John Kay, scored as the 96. If you're going to run the wrong number anywhere, it might as well be Daytona, and it might as well be the Wrangler 3.
Do it for Dale!
John Kay does it every day. Oh, that was Nick Tirana, and he just jumped from the top down to the bottom and buried it in the tailgate there of Nate Siefker. Lucky to escape that one, so is Mike Milfelt. We were just going to go on board with Tirana. This is his first start on turn 200. That was close. That was a little close.
Yeah, Tirana in that 2014 Brad Keselowski Detroit Auto Parts scheme. I believe that was the paint that Brad had at Charlotte when Henson punched him.
I think you're right. That's a good pull. Speaking of good pulls, Paul Ellison again on the gold 0-1 of Brody Gunter, who is not leading the bottom line there. So Ellison might have free reign. Now off the front bumper of the lap car, Hayden Palumbo. And more lap traffic ahead.
Yeah, they're catching up to a couple of the other max speed cars.
They'll give some much-needed aid to Mike Milfelt eventually when they get ingested here and they can get hooked up with the 155. Weird to see Milfelt's machine not covered in Federated Auto Parts. It's normally where we see the 155. Max speed colors here this evening. It's a good look. I'm sure it's a patented paints production. So this only adds to the piling on here for Brody Gunter. And now Ellison with lap cars in front of him as well. But he is the leader. This is not where you want to be if you're either of these two. So much going on out of your control, even though you're fighting for the lead. Nobody is fighting with you. Everybody's fighting against you with their own agendas.
Oh, kind of sideways and wiggling. Oh.
Hang on to it. Watch the hands.
Safe.
Talk about not needing tires, I don't know. These drivers are looking snap loose and pushing tight all at the same time.
Skill issue.
It's easy to say from up here. But you're right, it is a skill issue.
Yeah, they might not be driving good, but it's not worth the time you're going to lose.
3 wide.
No, I feel like with how long you're sitting in the box taking full fuel, I think you can still probably at least take right side tires and not add any extra time to the pit stop.
So this is the battle for the lead. The Halvoline 55 of Paul Ellison, and there you see in the right corner of the shot, the 0-1 of Brody Gunter. Those are the two that are fighting for the lead. Everybody else is trying to stay on the lead lap, essentially. And they have every right to do that. It's just going to get hairy.
Most confusing battle for the lead we've ever seen.
Yeah, just about. Just about. So Gunter pulling back ahead for now. It can change at the drop of a hat.
Third in lane, first on track.
Amen. Third for Dale. Brody Gunter, our winningest driver on the channel. Looking for some real-life opportunities on the Cars Tour. little sign of things for 2026. Had some great showings in 2025. Right back to side-by-side now. Ellison draws even. And these drivers up here, Hayden Mamiga is leading that top line. Now he'll jump down to the bottom in front of Sean Winkler. And that gives way now for Hayden Palumbo, who will play nice with Paul Ellison. He's one of the drivers that pushed him up here in the first place. Somehow got in front of him, and all the shuffling as I thought John Kay was headed for the catch fence there off of TJ Crampton's front bumper.
And as hurtful as this may be right now, if Seeker makes a little bit of contact with the wall, is that it's allowing the lead drivers to save a little bit of fuel here. Ride behind these lap down cars and try to stretch the fuel mileage as much as they can. And that's very important because I believe a good chunk of the cars in this lead pack are those that came down at lap 36. So you hope for them that you can maybe stretch a little bit of extra fuel, a little more laps, where making it on just having this next stop be the last stop of the race, maybe make that mile. Paul and Brody side by side here with 5 cars ahead of both of them. This is also helpful for the lap down cars that are in the thick of this pack. Allows them to save fuel and maybe try to stretch it to where they get to stay out when the lead lap cars pit and hope for a caution. But regardless, we got a whole lot of people doing the caution dance right now.
It's practical and tactical for these lap drivers to stay side by side. I mean, the enemy is at the gates here. You do not want to go a lap down. So if you can keep yourself on the lead lap and keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening behind you and sort of help make those moves, I think that is about all you can hope for at this point. Palumbo and Michael were forming the blockade there for a moment. Palumbo now back it up to get Ellison. Try and pull him back alongside of Brody Gunter. So again, that's Mamiga, Winkler, Smith, Justin Michael, and Hayden Palumbo. 5 drivers on the very tail end of the lead lap. In front of Brody Gunter in the 0-1 and Paul Ellison in the 55, who were side by side for the race lead. John Kay in the 3, essentially, is also on the lead lap. Nate Siepker here in the 15 car is in this pack, battling for position. Nicholas Pressey in the 94. And Nick Tarana in the Brad Keselowski throwback is also in this lead pack, as well as Mike Milfeld in the 155. 7 lead lap drivers and probably close to double that in lap cars. You're on lap 63. We mentioned how far back the second group was. They have started to make some time, but they lost a whole bunch to do it. They were about 8 seconds back when Paul Ellison caught up to the lead pack. They are now 16 and a half seconds behind. But they have the numbers. Schlosser, Williamson, Holden, Fleming, Allen, Wolf, all right here together with a couple more lap down drivers. Stephen C. Thompson in that mix as well. So they'll hope that time comes down rapidly, but that is hoping against hope at this point. Their best bet is to see that yellow laundry. It's not impossible. We get it sometime around the next cycle of green flag pit stops coming up here in a few laps.
Whoa! John Kay getting into the wall.
Everybody getting single file, and Kay has been shuffled out. TJ Crampton going to move backwards with him.
obviously with them single filing out, obvious that pit stops are on the horizon once again.
So Gunter, the leader, is fourth in line. Literally 2 car lengths behind him. That's Paul Ellison. And how I know it's 2 car lengths is because he's got 2 cars in front of him. That's the kind of stuff they teach you in college, ladies and gentlemen. Get a sports broadcasting degree. Chat's been awfully quiet. I think everybody's so concentrated right now, or maybe they're betting on this race on Polymarket or something. But drop us a chat. Let us know you're alive, who you're rooting for. And we'll get this one across the finish line. Over halfway done. It's been very interesting, if nothing else.
Yeah, it's for a league that loves to predicate itself on weird races, a special stage does. This is definitely one of the weirder Daytona races I've ever seen. This is truly living up to the Joker moniker.
Indeed, the Joker crown jewel Daytona 5000. As a little argy-bargy there towards the front. Heath Smith is laying in the bumper. It's a Sean Winkler, who is in turn giving it to Hayden Maminga. Affinity 9, cheering on Patrick Wilson. Wilson in another one of those drivers that is firmly in the I need a caution desperately camp. Like I said, it's literally right around the corner at any given moment.
Yeah, you pretty much have all but like 7 people just flat out doing the caution dance right now. Just praying for a miracle to get back into this thing.
Things have settled down a little bit. Let's give Patrick Wilson some screen time here. Just for Infinity. Currently in the 25th position. He is actually close to being 2 laps down at this point. So hoping that this lead pack stays away. But he is hanging on for dear life to the second pack. As all of a sudden we are not single file anymore. We are pushing, and new leader for the first time tonight is John Kay. Zach Amsbacher in the chat, cheering on the Schloss boss. Schlosser leading the second group right now. Checking in on that gap, it is almost exactly where we left it at 17.8 seconds.
This is the John Kay. He's the only lead lap car in that second lane.
And Palumbo in front of him. TJ Crampton behind. I'm actually not sure who that is right behind him. It might be Andy Ducato. I think it is. I'm not even sure if I said Andy Ducato's name on the starting grid. He might have snuck in on me there. He was in the chat earlier. I don't know. This is my first broadcast in over a month. I think my brain is just mush at this point. Trying to put the wrinkles back in my nose.
Wait, your brain has wrinkles?
I don't know. It's the rumor going around.
Smooth brain for aerodynamic efficiency, baby. Meanwhile, to try to map out when we might see everyone on pit road. Because the majority of the pack pitted on lap 36. And so 72, that'd be the next logical lap. But with all the fuel saving that a few of these cars have been able to do, say we might see them around 76, 77 maybe.
I was going to say, 72 is not going to cut the mustard if you want this to be your last stop. Honestly, 77 might not either, but it is at least closer.
Nope.
These drivers will hope to get to at least 80, if not more, to bring this one home.
Who I have my eye on right now is Milfeld, because he pitted, him and the Max V guys and Aldridge, they pitted on lap 42. They were doing a lot of fuel saving. You see Milfeld is right at the back of this lead pack doing a whole lot of fuel saving. So if he could just stretch it another 42 laps, he'll be good to go on making it to the end on that last stop, provided he's still able to do some more fuel saving on top of that to make sure he gets 42 laps again.
Mike Milfeld, a Turn 200 veteran, mainly in the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series, but also Truck 200 as well. One channel victory came on a drafting track at the New Atlanta in Max V. He'd been close multiple other times to victory on the drafting style tracks, but those mainly on raw pace. We haven't seen him have to make this sort of strategy gamble. All of his help is about 15 cars in front of him fighting to stay on the lead lap. He is on his own right now.
Right now, a few of them are also starting to break away a little bit too.
So we saw him last time, little 3-car breakaway right before green flag pit stops. That's Memiga, Sean Winkler, and Heath Smith. Just as we say that, Justin Michael will bring everybody else back in tow here. Bad news, the second pack continues to lose time here. Now 19 seconds behind. So if anybody was holding out hope that they could make a miraculous green flag comeback, it is not going to be the case. They are going to need a caution. This is always the point in the race, whenever they get a lone green flag run, somebody's thinking, who is going to take the dive? Just to get us back in here. I think I've only seen it happen one time. Most of the time, they just cut their losses and let it play out. So I won't say who, but somebody did absolutely do it on purpose one time. And it led to quite an interesting finish. Luckily, the guy that was leading when the caution came out still won the race, so it wasn't that much of a disaster. But it certainly was a choice.
Yeah, as much as we'd like to see a caution, we definitely don't want a caution on that. And meanwhile, the 10 has given the call. He's bringing it down.
Okay. That is Hayden Mamiga, who has been leading the lap down cars as Heath Smith has to make an evasive maneuver there. And Mamiga all by himself and maybe a bit hot locks it up. Man, pit road entry is proving to be tricky here.
And to add insult to injury, the 10 got himself a black flag for his troubles.
I was wondering, he was coming in there pretty hot.
That would be worse.
So Brady Gunter back to the lead.
And he's bringing it in.
Everybody's moving down. I think it is time again.
I was only off by 1 lap. That is way closer than I ever get. Look at me go.
Here goes Gunter.
Oh, we got the 25 spinning on pit road entry right in front of him. Oh, and he's backing up. Oh, no. And that's going to cause Brody to spin into the inside wall.
Oh, dear.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Wow.
Brandon Hartline with the issue there.
That is some luck. Like, Oh,
my goodness.
There's just nothing you can do if you're Brody. That is just unbelievably poor timing. There's nothing you could do.
Here comes Nate Seifert.
Just of all times for that to happen.
Gunter has the wildest swings in luck here on this channel. His luck is either incredibly fortunate or just pathetically evil. Like, there's no two ways about it.
Yeah, like I've raced him enough to have experienced that luck, going from how did he pull that off to, oh look, Brody's in the catch fence again.
Yep. And it happens just like that. All right, Nicholas Pressey and Mike Milfelt are still out on the track. Pressey has a couple less laps in the tank than Milfelt, as here comes Hayden Palumbo. And Palumbo's smoking him down onto pit road as well. But that one was much more controlled than last time. Max save for the 155. He might get to this 80, 81, 82 number. In theory, he can make it to 84. And he might be home free at that point.
Yeah, it's working out great right now because he's able to save quite a bit right now. A few of the cars that haven't stopped are right in front of him, and a few cars that have stopped are also right in front of him.
There goes Nicholas Pressey, so it is Mike Milfelt to the point. He is the last of the drivers that were in the lead pack to come down pit road.
Yeah, this is looking about as good as you can hope for.
Certainly not home free by any stretch of the imagination. His teammates are moving up. I wonder if he's coming this time. No. Look at that. I mean, where do you go? Look at that. No help in the middle.
Yeah.
Freight trained on the top. Slower traffic on the inside. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, but as stressful as this looks right now, obviously he's going to be pitting soon, and it's only really going to be him that comes down. And I think that's the better way to go. Like, I always try to pit with as few cars as possible, even on the draft tracks, because it feels like you lose too much time trying to worry about where everyone else is around you. You're maybe not attacking the braking zone for pit road as hard. So we see a few of the Max V cars in, and none of them are Milfelt. Meanwhile, Michael locking her up once again. No block flag this time, though.
So that's Patton Smith who rolls through his box, and Justin Michael.
And apparently Pressey said he slid through his box, so we'll get another contender out of it. And Milfelt's in right now. He's in this time. Yeah, look at that. Clean, no one around him. All he needs to worry about is braking. Really can't ask for much more, and no black flag.
He didn't have any help coming out last time, and it did work out for him, but man, that makes me nervous. Of course, if everybody else has to make an extra pit stop and you don't, it doesn't really matter anyway. Just on principle, though, it is scary to see a car come in by themselves, knowing what they have to do on the execution here on exit.
Yeah, but like I was alluding to earlier, like what you lose pace-wise being out of the draft by yourself, you make up for being able to be more efficient and quicker on pit road entry. So it's a give or take. I'd rather be able to just focus on my marks, focus on looking out and getting into my box without having to worry about, is someone behind me gonna smack into me at Mock Jesus or spin out in front of me like what happened to Brody. And he is well out in front right now. Obviously,
he'll be able to hang on, if nothing else. I mean, Ellison should be able to get past him here. Although he does have the Max V contingent sort of running blocker car for him.
and this is lap 80. He just has to stretch it about another, about 40-ish laps to get to the end.
He's done twice already. So don't count your chickens before they hatch, but the 155 might be made in the shade without a caution. Caution free to this point. Nate Siefker, though, is the leader in the middle of the Max V gang. Paul Ellison rides in third. Nick Tirana and John Kay have survived the second wave of pit stops. Nicholas Pressey has not. And neither, of course, is Brody Gunter. Gunter is in this pack, but he's a lap down.
And now, what do you do if you're Siefker, Ellison, K, Tirana? You know that he's likely going to be good on fuel. You know that you are absolutely not going to be good on fuel. Like, what do you do? I mean, you're stuck with the realization that you might essentially be racing for just P2 here, unless something. Oh my God!
There they go!
Oh, he held on to it.
No way. I don't understand. I'm not even sure who that was. That's, again, is not registered as a crash. Andy Ducato. I don't understand. Let's see if we can snipe a replay of this here. That's just wild. Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
Would love to throw the drivers a bone, I'm sure, but that's... I guess that's not a crash.
Yeah, they kept it straight. I thought for sure the 22 was going around, but when he went back up into the wall, ended up straightening out. And meanwhile, that has actually cost Rutherford and John Kay the draft.
Wow. So
now it's down to just 4 in this lead draft. They are absolutely dropping like flies. This is crazy.
Yeah, Rutherford is a couple laps down at this point, but I mean, John Kay's on the lead lap, so that only gives us 4 up front here with a shot. And to your point from a minute ago, I'll tell you what you do if you're Nate Siefker. You get up here and lead the race. You might as well.
Honestly, if I was Siefker, I'd drop down behind the 55 and try to push him out in front, try to make him burn some fuel or something.
That is a great idea.
Because, yeah, Mike is able to do exactly what he's done for the first 2 stints. Just sit towards the back of the pack and save. Silent assassin right now. Meanwhile, that is the end of the night for Stephen C. Thompson, and TJ Crampton retired a little bit before that. I believe during the beginning of the second round of green flag stops.
Drivers on the lead lap right now, there are not very many. I can tell you that. Only 9. 4 of them in the lead pack. Travis Fleming is the next to go.
Meanwhile, the number 10 has ended up right back leading the lead pack here. Of unfortunately, he is now down. Down 1 lap, trying to make sure it doesn't become 2.
So Paul Ellison showing the way. Nick Tirana. Nate Siefker showing the way. Sorry, Mike Milfeld in second. Don't you hate it when you scroll up to third and it stops?
Yeah.
Siefker leading Milfeld, Ellison, and Tirana the top 4. And, yes, despite Corey Rutherford's best efforts to mount the charge here.
Oh, there's contact!
Oh my
Justin Michaels
goodness.
onto the apron right now.
And Michael
And once again,
does
we
not
stay green.
Michael does not want to be the one to bring out the caution to hose his teammate, that's for sure.
No.
Let's take a look. Watch for Brody Gunter here, pulling up on the outside in the gold car. And just pushing there, and is going to hook him down. That's not even the right thing. Not sure what happened there. Well, regardless. No idea.
Yeah, it looked like one of the kind of yellowish cars. I'm not sure if it was the 01 or the 52, but just kind of came down into Michael right there.
Yes. That was a lap too early. So
Yeah,
it's
just
no, it's not
yeeted
Travis.
the 87.
Trent Kimmel, that's who it is. First time we've really gotten to see the 52 on the track here. So a little bit of contact, maybe some skosh, if not just a push from Brody Gunter. Michael does a good job saving it.
Looks like Pressey's.
Oh, caution is out!
Oh my goodness, we got a caution!
Unbelievable. Where is the caution?
My.
Is my
A
question.
back straightaway.
Will
The
Wolf.
19.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
Well, the cautions work. First one of the night. And that is not what Mike Milfelt wanted to see.
He is punching the air right now. He was hole free.
Oh.
All he needed to do was it go green.
And I
Certainly don't know what that feels like. Nope, nuh-uh. Certainly can't think of a particular race at a particularly rectangle track that I could relate to on that one. Nope.
Well, I'll say you did combo that into a 6-win season. As I hate to say it, I think that was off the front bumper of our good friend Matt Williamson. We'll check that one more time here just to be sure.
I'm not
Oh,
sure.
it was not actually. It was a different white and red. No,
Yeah.
that was the 48.
Yeah, because I heard him apologizing a couple times for it over the race chat.
Well, sorry, Matt. But that breathes new life into a whole bunch of drivers. I think, if nothing else, Brody Gunter has gotten the lucky dog, so we'll have 10. And I think Nate Siefker stayed out, so it's only going to be 10 on the lead lap for the moment.
Yeah, we're just now catching up to the
Oh, that's
pace
true.
card,
So we'll see. I can't imagine our lead lap drivers are not going to come in here.
Yeah, and that means we're going to see a bunch of wave rounds. So now I'd say we're probably going to have everyone that can take that wave around.
And also, everybody is going to be good on fuel with this stop right here.
Well, all the cars taking the wave around,
Will
they're
not.
going to be close. I think some might be within striking distance of making it, because Victor Aldrich, he pitted a lap after Milfelt did. So I think Victor might be good to make it to the end. And he'll be 1 lap down. So I think you might have to keep an eye on that 88 car.
So Seifert now.
Actually, Aldrich is pitting.
Chance Allen has stayed out. And that is going to keep some people behind the pace car. That is not going to be welcome news. Mike Milfeld, I think, just drove through pit road. I think probably to get the Max V guys in front of the pace car, if I had to guess. But Chance Allen, who initiated the contact there with Will Wolf to bring out this caution, now is going to stay out.
And it doesn't sound like he was maybe sure on his decision to stay out.
Yeah, a little clutch and coast here for the 48, scored as the 51. Justin Michael in front of the pace car, or rather in front of the race leader. So is Matt Schlosser, but Schlosser is 2 laps down. But Heath Smith is going to be the first one out. That will only give us 12 drivers now on the lead lap. Justin Michael, Hayden Palumbo, and Brody Gunter, who got the waiver, or rather got the free pass.
Yeah, we'll see if he stays out again, because he was like...
well, if he comes down this time, he'll probably get a penalty. That's the unfortunate thing about that.
Yeah, good point. We are on the shortened caution with this being Daytona.
Little housekeeping note before we get back to it here on this restart. We're coming to 28 laps to go. The Daredevil Series returns on April 15th. That is the next time we know that we're going to be on the air here on Turn 200. We might throw up a couple of fun runs between now and then. You never know. So certainly we'll see you here April 15th at the season opener. Schedule has not been released. James, you've seen it. It's something. It's going to be probably the most Daredevil season of Daredevil we've ever had. So we're looking forward to that.
Absolutely. It's definitely going to be one for the ages. So we're seeing all the lap down cars having to move towards the back. So we're going to have one heck of a battle for the lucky dog.
Yes, indeed. Smith and Mamiga are the first 2 up for that lucky dog. And I believe it'll be Smith in 13th, back to Schlosser in 21st. That will be gunning for it. Hayden Mamiga, Sean Winkler, Victor Aldrich, Zachary Holden, Scott Patton, Corey Rutherford, Trenton Kimmel, and Matt Schlosser. That is just as good of a battle that we expect for the win, just for the lucky dog here. Something tells me it took 94 laps for our first caution. I don't know if we'll make it 9 to 4 laps before our next caution. These guys are about to get after it.
Yeah, I wager you're correct.
"28 laps to go. About to clip triple digits here for the Daytona 5000. The first Joker crown jewel of special stage. Chance Allen has stayed out. Mike Milfelt is on the outside. We are back on our way. Allen on the bottom with help from Nate Seifert. Milfelt has got help from Paul Ellison on the top.
Now the question is, how long will the 48 be able to go? As you imagine, he is not good on fuel, unlike most everyone around him.
That'll be everybody else's problem. About the same time that it's his. But he may not be the leader when it happens, and we go behind!
Oh, it is a big wreck! My goodness!
That is the big one, and the caution is out once again. Travis Fleming, a header from the bottom to the top. You can see him and Matt Williamson get out of line. And it is absolute carnage, chaos. There are cars scattered everywhere.
A rogue bumper sitting on the exit of pit road. Look at that. You can see it in the background.
It's Hayden Mamiga with big damage. Matt Schlosser got big damage. Rutherford involved. Oh, baby. So Fleming was the first one we see get out of line. I can't tell if he makes contact with Matt Williamson here. I think he's going to give him a shot on the right rear corner and sort of get the 199 Wood Brothers machine out of shape. See, right here, we're going to push on that right rear quarter. It's going to get Matt a little loose, and it's going to put Fleming on the apron. And as soon as he gets on the apron, boy, he's in for it. Smith with contact right up into Brody Gunter and Hayden Palumbo. They scatter from there. Big shots there for the 28. There's Mamiga. There's Schlosser with his front tires off the ground. There's the rogue bumper, and it came from Travis Fleming's tailgate. Did Justin Michael miss this? That's the question that I've got on my mind right now. He might have been able to put on the brakes just quick enough. We're on board with the 87. Brakes. Oh, my God. He missed it. That was in his lap with a hand extended. And he says, no, thank you.
What? That was a gnarly accident. And now the big question is, who on earth gets the lucky dog out of that?
So for anybody that does not know, the lucky dog in theory is awarded to the first driver scored one lap down. However, iRacing has a quirk where you cannot be involved in the accident that brings out the caution. Even if it's going off track or getting tapped by somebody else, if you make it through, doesn't matter. Any incident point, even a 0x, will invalidate your track position and give it to somebody else. Survey says, I don't know. I haven't seen anybody go. Maybe it's nobody. Somebody's jumped up to the top side. Can't figure out who it is, though.
I think it's the 12 of Zachary.
It is. All right, so Zachary Holden is the lucky recipient of the lucky dog as we switch to laps to go on the ticker. Second caution of the night, and I was right in the window, I want to add. Less than 10 laps. So that was Chance Allen coming in, but nobody else comes in with him, so we won't get any wave around drivers this time.
It looks like Milfeld brought it down to pit road too.
Very interesting. We do have 3 attempts at an overtime. Milfeld was certainly good to go the distance with a couple of caution laps here, but maybe just thinking ahead to overtime here, seeing as how this race has trended all of a sudden. Not that it was ever incident-free, but it was caution-free for 3/4 of this race.
I've mad.
Oh, never mind. I'm reading it backwards. I was like, we only have 5 minutes left in the session, but that is not true.
No, we got plenty, of time.
I was about to
Please.
start panicking.
And that would make Milfeld's decision to pit even more baffling if that was the case.
That happened in one of the first Daredevil races back when it was the RAL Legend Series. Somebody pit, didn't realize that there was a time limit. I want to say it was Michael the Turk at Indianapolis the first time we went there. Pit from the lead. Didn't realize that we were on the time limit. And of course lost the race. That was a memory from deep in the vault. I don't know where I pulled that from. Maybe from my giant ass spoiler.
God, I barely remember anything from that first season.
I barely remember any of it either, but that's because we didn't save half the races. Shout out to Twitch for not auto-saving. Apparently you got to do it manually. Whoops.
Well, of course, that would make sense. You can't have that.
No. Papa Paul Ellison leading the 13 lead lap drivers here with his teammate and friend John Cade, who is outside. They can only be friends for about another 22 laps, and then the gloves will come off. And they will come off. Paul Ellison has got a couple of victories on the channel here. John Kay has quite a few victories on the channel. This will end up being one of the Turn 200 crown jewels on top of a special stage crown jewel. They don't make them much bigger than this. And I know because I made it. Well, Matt Schlosser made it and I rubber stamped it.
And it's hard to go bigger than 5,000.
That's right. All right, here we go. Ellison, Kay, Seifert, Pressey, Tirana, Palumbo, the top 6 with 23 laps to go.
A horrendous jump from John Kay. My goodness.
Yeah, that was not great. It allows Seifert to get into second.
And that is absolutely kneecapped the outside lane. This single file all through the top 6, it looks like. And they're starting to pull away in addition to that.
Williamson might let Allen into line here just so they can get a run back up to the leaders. They're still within draft range, but you don't want to be going side by side when they're single file. Just as you say that, Pressey pulls out of the line up front.
I don't like that move from Pressey. He's not going to be able to do anything by himself. Now that's going to let everyone catch right back up.
Williamson and Allen, the two line leaders, battling side by side for 7th, and they have caught back up to a little breakaway there for a lap. Ellison still the leader, Seifert in second. 13 drivers on the lead lap.
And another thing to keep an eye on is what's going on with the lap down cars. They're in a fierce battle themselves for that lucky dog spot. But they have to make sure that they don't cause the caution and cost themselves. Oh, well, things are getting real close with Allen on that outside.
Palumbo now leading the charge up top. Snakes around Tirana and in front of Allen as they're stacking up top. And around goes Heath Smith. Smith around in the back. Hard header into the outside wall. Caution number 3 is out. Oh, and Sean Winkler and Corey Rutherford takes a bite out of the one. I would imagine Corey thought that the one was staying on the top side of the track, but that thing came down in a hurry.
Yeah, it did. Good gracious.
And you talk about the battle for the lucky dog. Sean Winkler had it, but he was involved in that accident, and he does not have it anymore. It might go to Scott Patton. Let's take a look here as we jump in about midway through the accident. And, I mean, this is going to be pretty simple, I think. Winkler going to get shuffled out actually by Scott Patton here. But I think Winkler was already in trouble before that. Winkler moving down the track maybe to try and side draft Smith, but doesn't realize how close he quite is there to the one car. Oh, man, that is... You sure hope that neither of them use their fast repair, because that was repairable damage for the one, and I mean that was obviously going to be no damage for Corey Rutherford. But now they are towing with destroyed cars. Let's take a look at it here from the Kickpot cam. Corey Rutherford, you won't know as well as anybody. He's had some interesting ones here on the channel before. Oh, and he actually gets hit from behind. That shoots him up the track. So as Corey is trying to slow down, he gets contacted from behind, and that puts him, I mean, right on the collision course there. That wasn't maybe quite as egregious as I thought it was going to be. There's really not a whole lot Corey could do there.
Yeah, I'm guessing the car behind just had no idea what was going on.
I mean, you could even see it from Corey's look out the windshield. With a clean track, it's really hard to tell with all the smoke there, but as soon as he got hit up the track, man, that was inevitable. So that's a bummer.
That absolutely is. You'd reckon that everyone behind Corey would have started, even without necessarily being able to see the smoke, you would have expected them to maybe start lifting off, because the caution is out. Everyone knows the caution is out. The yellow flag is waving. So you figure you would have already started to lift off anyways, because there's no real point in keeping your foot in it. And yeah, it might have better served all of them if they had. But another couple cars on the wrecker.
So we're back across the line now. We'll see who's going to get the lucky dog. There is a chance that Scott Patton won't get it. Okay. He did make contact with Winkler right before, but Patton is going.
Yep. Yeah, he was, when Winkler went up into the wall, he was ahead of him and ahead of all that. So works out well for him.
Was just hoping that the contact he had right before Winkler was involved in the accident didn't invalidate that lucky dog, which would be awfully cruel. This race has not been particularly kind to the max speed drivers thus far. The only one that had fared well was Mike Milfeld to this point, as somebody is I don't know who that is making their own bus stop down low on the backstretch. Oh,
yeah. Pressy just decided to go way down
Pressy
to the inside.
He did say hello in the chat. And a couple drivers are taking the bus stop this time. Totally optional. Actually, I'll say with 3 to go, everybody's required to take the bus stop. Please don't do that if you're listening. That was sarcasm.
And that's how the next big one started.
Uh-huh. Maybe one of the Joker Crown Jewel races can beat this. We run it back, but you have to take the bus stop at least once under green.
Love it. And before everyone on lap 1 decides to just get out of the way immediately.
Not a bad idea, especially with a fast repair. Now, inside of 20 to go, we'll restart with 17 on the board. Let's look at your cast of characters here, as we're slowly just going to drip feed more and more drivers back on the lead lap here. Got your 14 that are on the lead lap right now. We'll go hood cam for him. Paul Ellison, the leader. Nate Siefker now will take his outside. Row 2 is John Kay, right in line behind his buddy Paul Ellison and Nick Tarana. One of the big question marks coming into tonight. Drivers that we don't really know that much about, but he has proven pretty capable up to this point and has yet to leave that lead pack. Hayden Palumbo has had a very up and down night, but he sits in 5th. Nicholas Pressy has been very impressive here this evening. Not afraid to go for it. He is in the 6th position. Row 4 on the inside, Chance Allen kept a lot of drivers a lap down with his decision to stay out under the first caution. Mike Milfelt, maybe the driver that feels the most robbed right now. If it had gone green to checker, he would have been the only driver that could have made it on fuel. There is I guess my boss, technically, Matt Williamson, on the inside of row number 5. And a much shinier looking Travis Fleming, number 26 machine, after he undoubtedly has used his fast repair. Brody Gunter and Justin Michael, the two winningest drivers on Turn 200. That's quite the dynamic duo on row number 6. Head-to-head, I think, for maybe only the third or fourth time in channel history. And your two most recent Lucky Dog drivers are Zachary Holden and Scott Patton. 13th and 14th. "17 laps to go, and it just get this feeling that we might as well not have even run the rest of the laps because the race starts right here." Back to green. Ooh, little wishy-washy up there for Seifgard, putting the power down.
Yeah, but that ended up being one of the best jumps from the outside lane we've seen all night.
Tirana with not much help from behind. It's Pressy and then nobody. They are going to get left out if they don't do something quick. Stack it up there on the inside. Williamson pushing the pusher, pushing the pusher, pushing the pusher. We're all popping the bubble. The driver in front of us here. Stacking up there. Chance Allen rooting Justin Michael up towards the wall.
Saw a big move from John Kay to jump out to the lead of that outside lane.
The Alabama Gang boys want to control this race at the front of the field. Here's a look from Matt Williamson's kickpot cam. Okay, stacking up that outside. They are all jumbled up.
And now Palumbo and Seeker are taking the opportunity. Oh, we got a spin into the infield.
Caution
and
is
there's
out.
another caution.
Sean Winkler involved, still wrecking towards the front. It's Pressy and Tirana. Oh, Pressy with the moves to keep it off the inside wall. Will lose track position, but hangs on to the car. As that was not the meat of the issue there. Sean Winkler was the one we definitely saw around, and he is having a go of late, to say the least. Caution number 4. They are stacking up real quick here. That's Allen making contact, and that sets him off. That's Brody Gunter, who I feel like, in true Brody Gunter fashion, has been in almost every crash so far.
And that just barely clipped the rear of Aldridge and sent him right up. That might have been the lucky dog for Aldridge if he's able to be just a little bit ahead.
So Gunter able to sneak away, sort of. As Aldridge spinning like a top. Sean Winkler there. Not that crazy until we get up to Tirana and Pressy. And I believe that is Holden that is going to get stacked up with these guys. And the caution is already out at this point. And Holden just sort of into the door of Pressy. That's kind of no harm, no foul, but Pressy and Tirana are going to be deeper in the pack now than they were just a couple seconds before the caution came out. Let's take this one more time. Would see this on board. Nicholas Pressy. Watch this impressive save. They're sort of stacking up. They're kind of reacting to things happening in front of them as well. Throttle up. Ryan Newman style. Get away from that inside wall. Well done. We talked about his impressive moves at the front of the field here tonight, but that is an impressive move, and that is one you absolutely, if you're going to be a super speedway racer, you need to have that one tucked in your back pocket.
Absolutely. It looks like Lucky Dog is going to our benevolent overlord, Matt Schlosser.
It's rigged. Everybody knows it. Schlosser giving himself the Lucky Dog. Now, I want to point out as well, Schlosser was actually 2 laps down when the first caution came out, but he was one of those drivers that actually managed to stay in front of Chance Allen and get the wave around. He probably is going to be the only one that's going to go from 2 laps down to the lead lap. So just remember that when it comes podium time, and we're probably going to be talking to the 400 at the end of the night. He just has a knack for surviving these super speedway races.
And now we're only going to be down to just 3 cars 1 lap down.
Only 14 laps left. I could definitely see a world where we have 3 more cautions. I know certainly that's what Hayden Mamiga, Sean Winkler, and Victor Aldrich are rooting for, even though they've all been involved in our last 2 cautions. For Winkler, he's been involved in both.
And I believe we're going to be 10 laps to go when we do get back green.
Getting down to the nitty-gritty. 124 laps at the start of the night. That sounds like a long time. The laps did flick by pretty quickly to start the night. But once you get to this point, caution after caution after caution, and those laps are not ticking away all that much, does the pressure ramp up? Do you start to overthink things, or is this kind of zen time before it gets crazy?
Yes.
Fair. Honestly, yeah. It kind of comes and goes.
Yeah, you're not really thinking, you're just hoping for the best. When it starts to get this chaotic and you start to get restart after restart, there really isn't a whole lot you can do at this point. There's no real way to control it. You're really just praying everything works out.
15 drivers on the lead lap. One of them is Brody Gunter, who I would imagine still has a fair amount of damage and is trying to catch up in time to this pack. So the top 14 are attached. Schlosser will be at the tail end of the field as the lucky dog. I would imagine the driver that feels the most chapped right now has got to be Mike Milfelt, but he's got an opportunity to right the wrong here on the outside pole. I could see a world where he wants a driver like Nate Siefker on his bumper, and I could see a world where he definitely does not. Siefker has been fast, but he has been fearless. When push comes to shove, push is going to come to shove. Travis Fleming here on row 2. Go ahead.
And he's going to be absolutely aggressive.
Yep, it's aggressive time. Pace car is off. The special stage, Daytona 5,000, 12 laps to go at the stripe. Ellison fires. Couple car links back now to Travis Fleming there on the inside. Milfelt can't quite sneak into that gap. He'll have to hope that the help forms up behind him. Here comes the run on the outside. Siefker pushing Milfelt. Milfelt with a nose out ahead. It's 55 versus 155. Justin Michael is going to join the fray here. Back to the inside line. Milfelt clear by an inch or 2, and it clears the top for Nate Siefker. Coming to 11 to go. So much energy in this pack, and it all could go wrong in an instant. Matt Williamson into the mix. Williamson into the top 5 there. 3 wide and banging doors, and around goes Palumbo. Patton involved. Michael. Oh my gosh.
Palumbo is flipping. Mother of mercy. What on earth?
I don't know how many people made it through that, but it was not many. That was a disaster of biblical proportions with 11 to go. Oh my goodness. Does anybody get the
Wow.
lucky dog on that one? I don't think so. They were all in it. Let's take a look here. And man,
Aldridge missed it, but he had to go on the grass to avoid it, so I don't think he's gonna get it.
no, I don't think so either.
Because of because of course off tracks have to count towards that, because of course.
3 wide for 5th, 3 wide for 8th. And it's all going to come to a head here. Ellison, who was just the leader, mind you, got shuffled out on the bottom, now is 3 wide with Ellison. And just a heave and a hoe from both of them puts them together. There's track blocker number 1. They're going to come back up the track in front of the drivers that were just 3 wide. Fleming has already turned Patton into Zachary Holden. They go, and you cannot escape. Look at Palumbo.
Crowd surfing!
2 drivers make it through that unscathed. Everybody else gets a piece. Schlosser going to make it through as well. Unbelievable for the 400. Yeah, that was a mosh pit for sure. They opened that pit up. Let's go kickpot cam here with Travis Fleming, who is, I mean, it's all happening in front of him here.
I think everyone hit themselves on that.
Gunter right in the mix there, has Palumbo on top of him. Literally. And you got to feel for Paul Ellison. Has not put a foot wrong this entire race. Let's go far chase here. Really get down to the nitty-gritty of it. I mean, Palumbo is not leaving Michael any room here. Forcing Michael down the track. Maybe just a Scotia netcode there, but Ellison is also drifting up the track. Boy, that's hard to fault any of them for that. But, I mean, Michael wants to go up the middle. There's hardly any room, but there is room.
Oh, and Victor Aldridge is getting the lucky dog.
Wow. Remarkable turn of events. Look at Palumbo. Look at that.
My goodness.
That's not how he wanted to make the highlight reel.
I feel like you need to put Freebird in the background of this. Nothing else fits.
And that's all that damage that Brody Gunter just fixed. You get to do it again, brother.
I don't know if we'll be able to fix any of that.
No. He'll be hoping for some roof damage, because that doesn't exist. But that looks like a little more than roof damage to me. Oh, goodness me.
Roof damage. Not roof damage anymore, it's oof damage.
Mm-hmm. Into the single digits, and a reminder that we do have overtime if we need it. 3 green-white checkers. And since this is iRacing cautions, the caution can come out on the white flag lap. Normally that's not a thing we have to worry about in an admin-controlled race because everybody takes their finger off the button as soon as we get to the white flag. That is not the case here. Especially if we get to that 3rd overtime attempt, the caution can come out at any time and the race is over. Some things to keep in mind, just in case. Nate Siefker leading, John Kay in 2nd, Matt Williamson, just in the nick of time, got out of that. He's in 3rd, Mike Milfelt in 4th, Matt Schlosser took to the grass, was 2 laps down, and now is in 5th. A lot of lap cars that will have to get shuffled back here. Then back to Nick Tarana, who was in that. Nicholas Pressey was definitely in that. He's in 7th. Paul Ellison, if he needed a faster pair, he certainly still had it. He has been clean and green up to this point. Ellison in 8th. Justin Michael in 9th. Victor Aldrich now in the lead lap. 10th at the moment. Should have to drop back, though, to the tail end of the lead lap cars, which would put him 15th. Patton is back out. Gunter is certainly looking worse for wear. Travis Fleming. Sean Winkler and Hayden Memiga. The rest of the lineup there. But Winkler and Memiga, I believe, are still the last 2 that are trapped 1 lap down.
Zachary Holden has also called it quits for tonight.
Yep, Holden out after a couple of big ones.
Holden a beer after this.
I would imagine. I mean, the patience you need is not the patience that any of these drivers have, and that's not a knock on them. These runs are unbelievably huge in this car, especially when they get all wound up. I mean, your window of opportunity to actually take a run is so small. You really have to be on it, otherwise it's going to be everybody's problem very quickly.
Yeah, remember the clash where Eric Jones won in a car that was half put together and
Yes.
like everyone was demolished? Yeah, we might see a repeat of that.
7 laps to go. Nate Siefker, John Kay, Matt Williamson, Mike Milfelt, the top 4. Top 13 on the lead lap. For the crown jewel, the Joker Series, the Daytona 5000. Williamson committed to the bottom, and nobody is there with him. Milfelt, Kay, and Siefker now all going to leapfrog the 199. They are nose to tail. They're on the bottom. Tirana looking for a big push here on the top. Paul Ellison undeterred, pushing Tirana, trying to get himself back into the mix. 6 to go. With bated breath, Siefker working both lines.
Oh, but he's not going to be able to do that this time. Tirana gets position. Oh, and Siefker, he might be getting left out to dry. He is.
They fan out
As we got
behind.
a couple cars.
Oh, and there goes Tirana!
Oh, and they're wrecking the leader.
Caution is out. Tirana hooked as he fought for the lead. New leader is Scott Patton. Fleming makes it through. We are knocking on the door of overtime. Justice Tirana had made it up.
I think actually might have kind of worked for Siefker getting shuffled out right there.
Yeah, Siefker caught in the middle there. That's not going to come into play here. Patton gets a big run right as Ellison goes to make his move. Patton decides to take him. And all of a sudden, they fan out 3 wide. The same spot Ellison was just in, but now in the middle. I mean, those are just 3 drivers that are going for it right there. Tirana not leaving much room for Ellison in the middle.
Oh, and look at Travis Fleming miss on the outside. Scrape of the wall, trying to stay alive.
The Mats make it through.
Oh,
Big shot there for Justin Michael. And
yeah, demolished him.
That's probably Michael's race. As he is towed back to the pits, Tirana is all out of shape there. Wah, wah, wee, wah.
You said it.
Did I ever? Let's, I don't even know anymore. Let's go Kickpot Cam here, not with Justin Michael. I clicked on Travis Fleming. Oh, the joys of directing. How quickly we forget. The driver's coming down pit road here for gas. We'll get to that in a minute, but here's Fleming's great escape. Oh, my goodness. They literally don't make him closer than that.
clenching so much that it's going to sound like a suction cup when he gets out of the seat of that race car. Just
Oh, God.
and that was huge because he survived, and now he's going to be on the outside front row here.
This is big time for Travis Fleming. He's got plenty of starts. On turn 200 was the Truck 200 regular, ASRL Sports Car Championship regular. He's loves to hang around here in special stage. Is certainly a steady hand in the mid pack, but man, this is big time here for Fleming. To go against one of the greats on the channel, Scott Patton. Certainly in the top 10. Can't recall exactly where he is, but he's one of the winningest drivers here on the channel. And he's good on the super speedways. Fleming has a big opportunity here. But he's going to need some help. The two drivers that'll line up behind him are John Kay and Mike Milfelt. Now, if you're Scott Patton, I don't know if lane choice is a thing or not. But do you take the outside to get lined up here with Mike Milfelt? If you can.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We don't really have live race control here, so and we don't really have cautions in special stage either, so it's not something we've ever had to keep in mind for the most part. Patton's asking about it.
I would be too. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to get an answer.
And I believe we're going to have a natural green-white checkered here as well. So just 2 laps away from seeing who gets to claim the glorious purple knitted trophy.
Yes, the rare purple look. It's a shiny crochet trophy.
Ah, it's so cool. So jealous.
We don't get one?
Unfortunately not.
You are one of the top 2 broadcasters here tonight. Let me just tell you that.
Hey, that's the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me.
Oh boy. I mean,
the awkward silence is priceless.
I mean, I'm sure you feel it. You've done enough of these. The butterflies for us, tenfold for the drivers. I can't imagine the nerves of some of these drivers, especially Travis Fleming. He's got the opportunity here for the upset. So Patton, Kay, Milfelt, Williamson, Schlosser, Siefker, Pressey, Aldrich, Gunter, the top 10. They all want to crack at it, and they'll all get it here on a natural green-white checker. This could be crazy. I'm banking on it.
Honestly, the butterflies for everyone on the lead lap. And if you're on the lead lap, you have a legitimate chance to win, because anything can and likely will happen here.
You just have to survive 2 laps and put yourself in the position to win. Patton with control of the restart. Travis Fleming to his outside. A natural green-white checker for the Daytona 5000.
Not the greatest of restarts for Travis right there. Doesn't look like it's going to affect him too much, as there's a lot of separation on that inside lane, and that's going to work out perfectly for the outside.
Here's Schlosser taking a peek to the outside. Pulls back in line. Fleming down to the bottom now.
What do you do if you're Fleming?
Big bumps. Milfelt leads the top. He is dragging, looking for help. Travis Fleming leading the Daytona 5000, coming to the white flag. Contact. Patton to his help now. Making contact behind. We're still green. White flag, 1 to go. This is the run to the checkers in the Daytona 5000. Kay is all over Fleming. Milfeld is all over Patton. A little disjointed on the inside. Patton is clear. Milfeld is clear. Two-car tandem up front. Can anybody rally into the fight? Or will Milfeld and Patton have it for themselves? To the checkers. They're wrecking behind. To the stripe. It's a photo finish, and it's Scott Patton. Patton by inches, the winner of the special stage Daytona 5000. Milfeld in second, Travis Fleming to round out the podium as they all crash behind him. Sean Winkler and Matt Schlosser, the top five, after being multiple laps down throughout the entire race. But Scott Patton has just enough to hang on for the win.
Yeah, that was some incredible shoving from Milfeld. Worked out perfectly as the inside lane just fell apart right when they absolutely needed not to.
We'll take a look at it here in a minute, but it did look like Kay and Williamson were both kind of getting each other a little upset there on the inside as they were trying to either get clear of or push Travis Fleming even. But a big win for Scott Patton. He goes 1 for 1 in special stage and takes the first ever Joker Crown Jewel in our first running of the special stage Daytona 5000. 124 laps to regulation with 6 cautions and an ungodly amount of lead changes and a lot of uncertainty. Patton burning them down. Oh, and our camera has gone through the crowd. Typically, when you're designing cameras, you want them to ignore object permanence. What's the official margin of victory according to iRacing here? Because that had to be within thousandths of a second.
Yep, 3 of them to be exact.
Wow. Well, that, I believe, will put that in the top 5 closest finishes in channel history. Scott Patton has another one of those victories, the 3rd closest, in fact. What a rally for Patton. Not too long before this win, was in the big one. And was underneath the big one, and all around the big one. Let's go back and take a look here at this final lap. There's a lot to dissect. If I can find where the white flag indicator is. Yes, here we go. So Patton is in a decent spot. He's linked up with Mike Milfeld. And we talked about the sort of the dissension in the ranks on the inside. Williamson is going to kind of be the last hope here. He loses his help behind. But really, Milfeld and Patton don't have much help either. Williamson and Kay getting a little bit crossed up. Fleming dragging, but he's dragging them back as well.
Yeah, the big issue is you saw that Kay and Fleming got a little off-center from each other. Honestly, pretty off-center from each other. Exited turn 2 and tried to get lined back up. They lost so much time and so much momentum that it just allowed those two to just walk away. And by the time they got lined up again, it was all just too late.
Pressey and Allen that get tangled together. Caused Pressey a good finish, man. He ran great today. Not representative of a P11 finish, that's for sure. A frustrating end to his Daytona 5000. And we go now. Let's see if we can get this right down the pipe here. Nope, we don't have a start-finish camera. Of course we don't. Oh, and I don't have a frame button either. Oh, goodness. That's might be as good as we're going to get. Let's see if we get a closer look at it. Here we go.
My goodness.
It is not very much. 3/1000ths of a second at the stripe. It's Scott Patton victorious here this evening. So we'll talk to Scott here in just a second, as we will our other two podium finishers. As we'll take a look at the full finishing rundown after 124 laps here this evening. That is 5,000 hectometers for anybody playing along at home. The special stage Daytona 5000 is in the books. And the victory goes to Scott Patton by 3/1000ths of a second over Mike Milfelt Jr. We'll talk to them. We'll talk to Travis Fleming as well, who will bring it home on the podium. Sean Winkler in fourth. It is Matt Schlosser in the fifth spot. Sixth place goes to Victor Aldrich. Seventh to John Kay. Nate Seifker in eighth. Matt Williamson in ninth. Bertie Gunter rounds out the top 10. 11th place for Nicholas Pressey. It is 12th for Hayden Memiga. 13th for Brandon Hartline, who's actually Memiga is the first driver one lap down. Everybody else behind him will not finish on the lead lap either. Of course, Brandon Hartline in 13th, Trenton Kimmel in 14th, Corey Rutherford 15th, Paul Ellison. Fortunately going to be a DNF there at the end of that race. That's mightily disappointing for the driver that probably led the most laps here this evening, if I had to guess. Ellison in 16th, Nick Tirana in 17th, it's Patrick Wilson in 18th, 19th for Chance Allen, Justin Michael in 20th, Hayden Palumbo 21st, Andy Ducato in 22nd, Zachary Holden 23rd, 24th for Heath Smith, Will Wolf in 25th, Stephen C. Thompson 26th, TJ Crampton, and Kevin Fletcher. The rest of the finishing order. As we fade out on the music and we go in search of your podium finishers. He just hopped into the waiting room. So let's talk to Travis Fleming, a podium finisher here tonight in the Daytona 5000. Welcome to Booth 200, partner. Great to get to talk to you. And, I'm sure you wanted the win, but that was a heck of a show in there at the front of the field here late.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. I don't know if I should have stayed up high. I thought maybe the bottom line would have been the best one there. But, I don't know. John and I had a good run going. I thought he was going to push me to victory.
I mean, go ahead.
No, just the 46 and 155, they were just hooked up real good. I don't think anyone was going to get past them.
I mean, you were certainly a veteran in terms of, you and I have shared the track many a time in many a different car, but never in this car. I mean, how familiar were you with the Gen 6, and what is kind of the learning curve, if you were familiar with this car, sort of re-familiarizing yourself with it?
Well, I just got the car this afternoon. This is the first I drove it. I spent most of the time just painting the car. And it felt pretty much just like the next-gen cars.
I mean, how do you handle the big runs in these? I mean, I know it's game time decisions there late. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, but I mean, the runs in this car are just massive.
Yeah, it definitely has a good run and drafts up real good. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm used to driving a Ford, so the Chevy was a little different for me today.
James, what you got?
Yeah, why did you choose the Chevy?
I just wanted something different.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I mean, it's great to get to talk to you here tonight. You're one of the regulars here in Special Stage. I mean, it's not the win, but a podium's got to mean something to you here this evening.
Yeah, it definitely feels good. I'm definitely going to have to go crack open a nice cold one after that one.
I'm sure you're not going to be alone. Let's get some shout-outs in here for you tonight before we let you go.
I just want to shout out everybody that runs this and hosts it. you guys for commentating. All my buddies over in ESGI, they didn't get the run tonight, but they were watching, so just want to thank everybody.
Well, great stuff here tonight, partner. Congrats on a podium, and we'll hope to talk to you again here sometime soon.
Sounds good. Have a good weekend.
All righty, let's bring up the driver now that will come up one spot short by only 3/1000ths of a second. Certainly made a lot of waves throughout the course of the race here tonight, but it's Mike Milfelt in the 155 back in booth 200. Great to get to talk to you once again, partner. Congrats on a strong run here tonight.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
I'm sure probably some disappointment in the fact that we had a caution at some point in this race. Correct me if I'm wrong. You had that made.
I did, yeah. It was going to be interesting. I think I was the only one that could make it on fuel from there.
That is also what we think as well. So disappointment there, but I mean, you did not let that deter you all that much. You got right back up to the front of the field on the ensuing restarts and made your mark, certainly.
Yeah, it was fun. I was glad Scott got his lap back and he could get up there and race with us and at least have somebody to work with. It was fun.
It certainly, I mean, you had to feel comfortable at least knowing, I mean, of course, the first pit cycle was miserable for everybody but you in the Max V gang. But they got right back up to the front of the field the long way around, backwards, and sort of ran the point. That had to help immensely for you.
Yeah, the first pit stop did not go exactly how we planned. But yeah, I'm glad everybody got back on the lead lap and everything worked out.
James, what you got?
Yeah. So, did you have any sort of plan going on to the white flag? If you were just gonna try to push Scott, or maybe try to sneak by, did you have anything cooked up, or was it just waiting and seeing what even unfolded?
It was just see what unfolds, and it just happened. Scott got the squeeze up in front of me with one lap to go. I said, "All right, Scott, I'm not letting off the throttle. Here we go."
And certainly Scott wouldn't expect you to either, I would imagine. But, man,
No.
Great showing here tonight. Awesome stuff. I know you wanted that one better, but, man, an awesome finish, if nothing else, side-by-side with two Max V cars. And, looking good at the front of this field. Let's get some shout-outs in once again before we let you go.
Thank my teammate Heath. Thanks Scott and Justin. They were racing with me. Thanks Scott for the paint job. This is a good-looking car out there. Thank you guys for the broadcast. Appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely, partner. Great to get to talk to you once again. I'll see you in a couple Thursdays back on track, but in the meantime, we'll hope to talk to you again here on the channel sometime soon.
All right, see you guys.
And maybe three first-time podium finishers in special stage, all from the special stage 5000 here. That's kind of exactly what we had in mind when we pitched this race. To see the best of the best from in and out of special stage in sort of the Turn 200 ecosphere. And we certainly got that when Scott Patton popped into the chat earlier this afternoon, and he gets to walk away with the W at the end of it all here tonight. Congrats.
How about that one, Tommy? We won a super speedway race.
Finally. I mean, man, and it was quite the road to get there as well. It was looking bleak for a while. It was looking better, looking bleak again, and then all of a sudden the 46 is back towards the front and in control. I mean, what a roller coaster.
Yeah, we don't give up here at Bandit Motorsports and Max V for sure. We were down and out, 2 laps down, I think I saw for a while. Just seeing if the cautions could maybe fall where we needed them, and they didn't at all for the first 3/4 of the race. And then, yeah, just playing the best pit strategy we could and being aggressive when we needed to, making the moves, being cautious when we needed to get the lucky dog. So calculated risks, and looks like it all paid out.
I mean, I feel a little bit more comfortable asking this now that you've won the race, but I mean, pit road was not just an issue for you. Of course, it was an issue for the teammates as well. It was an issue for a lot of drivers. I mean, that as much as that little sort of crash early in the race sort of mixed things up, the pit stop just threw everything into disarray. I mean, talk about the difficulties of getting onto pit road there.
Yeah, it came from a lack of preparation on my part, admittedly. Obviously, we haven't raced these cars in quite a while, and the guys had told me to back the breaking point way up. I did one practice lap at the last 2 minutes of practice, and obviously we're going probably 15, 20 miles an hour slower than we would be in the draft, and I did not calculate for that or account for that at all in the race, and just way, way, way too hot in there. And I probably dragged those guys with me, because that's kind of what happens when you're a leader. Those second, third, fourth place guys will sometimes pace off of you and trust that you're doing the right thing on the entry. So I feel bad that I probably let some of those guys down too. But yeah, we spent 1:10 in the pits and went 2 laps down, and yeah, made it up.
Certainly did. James, what do you got here for the race winner?
Yeah, what was going through your mind going taking the white flag? Were you really worried about Travis on the inside, worrying about anything behind you? Did you have any sort of plan, in all honesty?
No, that's when kind of everything went out the window. My best shot, I thought, was to just stay on the middle lane. I knew that they would have a difficult time passing us on the bottom, especially knowing that Mike was right on my bumper, a teammate. So I figured if we stayed up there for a while, they were going to have a real hard time. So I have no idea who was even down there. Being in this race here, I don't even know 80% of the drivers in here. So never mind paint jobs. So it's really hard to account for who's where and what they might do. We're just kind of grabbing the best lane we can, which was that middle lane at the time. Saw the white flag and just brought it home. Finish ended up being a whole lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I saw Mike dive down there, and yeah.
I mean, yeah, 3/1000ths of a second. You've got one that's closer on the channel with you and Andrew Schulte at Iowa a couple of seasons ago as well. So you know how to do them exciting, that's for sure.
Yeah, good time.
Well, thanks for racing here tonight, and thanks for taking the checkered flag. It's been great to share the track with you the last few weeks on Thursday nights over on Motormouth Broadcasting for Max V Trucks. But it's even better when we get to bring you back home here, especially with the checkered flag in hand. So the floor is yours as the first winner of a special stage crown jewel Joker event, the Daytona 5000. Let her eat.
Yeah, appreciate that, Tommy. Certainly you guys at Turn 200, huge shout out. And I feel like this is a make-up for our Thursday Max V series when I missed the finale, and not that I'm bitter about that, but I feel like this is a icing on the cake for missing that. So I'll take what I can get here. But all the guys that race with us on Max Velocity, if you're looking for a good race league, we have a great time over there on Thursday nights, and certainly you guys at Turn 200 appreciate all your work. And I'll do these races anytime you guys offer them. If I'm around for you guys at Turn 200, I'm there.
Well, we'll see what Matt Schlosser has up his sleeve. He and I are sort of mad scientists at this point, just seeing what kind of wacky stuff people are willing to race. So we'll hopefully catch you again sometime down the line. And stop inviting people to Max V. You're making me work too hard in qualifying, damn it. I suck at qualifying.
Me too. It gets your nerves going. No, you only got one lap to beat a 55-car field, huh?
Well, regardless, you beat them all here tonight. Congrats on the win of the Daytona 5000, and we'll hope to talk to you again here sometime soon.
Appreciate you, Tommy. See you guys. Hope everybody enjoyed it.
Well, I certainly enjoyed it. James, did you enjoy it?
Oh, I enjoyed it a lot. That race was crazy. It was definitely one of the weirdest races I've ever broadcasted, with all the pit road mistakes. The fact that we really only had 4 cars battling for the win for most of it, and all of a sudden we get the caution and all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, certainly there were a lot of those moments that yeah, to your point, we went over almost 3/4 of the way through this race without a caution. And then all of a sudden, I think we ended with 6, and a big one on the final lap there as well. I mean, it got messy very quickly. Once you get one, you're going to get a lot more.
Some say Hayden Palumbo is still crowd surfing to this day.
That is quite unfortunate. Anything else that you want to say? Anything you got to plug before we let you go here?
Just looking forward to getting back to the special stage indie series next week, and happy to be back on the broadcast booth for special stage, and hope I can find myself on a special stage broadcast again here in the future.
Certainly, we're looking forward to, like Matt Schlosser alluded to earlier. Of course, all the action is on Racer Nexus for the regular special stage programming. I believe, I don't think I'm saying anything out of turn here, the special stage Crown Jewel events, rather the Joker Crown Jewel events, will be here on Turn 200 as long as we don't have any scheduling conflicts. Of course, my race season will be coming up here in just a couple of months' time. So kind of all bets are off there. But certainly if it can, it will be here on Turn 200. And we're looking forward to seeing whatever Matt Schlosser can cook up here. Scott Patton just got himself a nice crochet trophy. So congrats to him. Looking forward to seeing him posing with that sometime in the near future. He gets a win sticker, too. That's pretty cool. So that's all we got for you here tonight, folks. Thank you, everybody that was hanging out with us. Thank you to Kyle Zittel. I'm looking forward to checking in on him and see how he did in his pole dash race. Robin Matichek was here early. Andy Ducata was out on track. Brad Slagle was here early as well. RJ Starcevic checking in with Nate Siefker in the chat. Affinity 9 cheering on Patrick Wilson. Unfortunately, Patrick's race did not end up quite as well as he would have hoped. Zach Amsbacher cheering on Matt Schlosser, who snuck in for a top 5. Nicholas Pressey was checking in earlier as well. Pete Smith and John Kay coming in post-race saying that he had a good time. And that's good to hear. But that is all we got for you here tonight. Again, the next time you can catch us on Turn 200 for sure is April 15th for the Daredevil Series Season 7 opener. So we'll see you in April if nothing else. But that's all we got for you here tonight. Until we meet again, on behalf of Mr. James Watson, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long and congratulations to Scott Patton, winner of the first Joker Crown Jewel event for Special Stage in the Daytona 5000. Have a great night, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.